Well, what he'd do is in the morning he would send you a post. This year it was Muppets, and it would be a funny moment from the Muppets. And then I knew better than to even comment, except for a thumbs up. And then a few hours would go by and you'd get another one. And you never knew when the next one was coming because he would never answer or reply to you. He was trying to build the suspense until the big payoff at the end. So the whole day, you're trying to get through your day on your birthday and you're going, oh, my God, I bet I haven't heard from Paul. And then, bang, it would just show up out of nowhere. And, of course, you know, that just made it even funnier. So he would do things like that for people.
Oh, that's really...
And that's what he did for me. And then last Thursday, I sent him a text, and I said, you know, you used to be very keen on the idea of doing a reunion. Do you even entertain that anymore? And he never answered.
Oh, that's that's a heavy one. We're talking to Mark Holton, the most notorious bicycle thief in the history of the world. He portrayed Francis Buxton in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. He and I are trying to make sense of the passing of Paul Reubens, who has gone way too soon at the age of 70. I mean, to be clear, that's 20 years sooner than most people consider running for president as a Democrat. So it's heavy. Can you give me some insight, Mark, into the kind of guy he was? Because when I hear that he had cancer and really didn't make a public spectacle of that reality, it speaks to me as something that motivates all comedians, which is the need to bring joy into the world, be a force multiplier of positive energy at a time when there's so much negative energy competing for your interests. Do you think the reason he kept this quiet is because of that ethos?
Oh, yeah. He kept it quiet from me right out to the end.
Wow.
You know, that was a private thing for him or whatever. And there's so many things that he did for kids with cancer over the years that nobody knew about because he didn't talk about it. He didn't drag a camera crew in with him. So
he was just
he was a good man, and he genuinely loved children, and you know, he had many generations of children to love him for the work that he did.
Now,
and he would want a eulogy like the one you're giving him. Playing his little hits and sound bites or the soundboard or whatever, especially the one with the laughter. And as a selfish request, when we conclude this, can we just go out with that?
Of course we can, Holton. Anything you want. You know, when we first met, I told you that it's impossible for me to even quantify to you just how profound of an influence you and Paul were on my comedic development. I mean, the laughter, the sheer bliss, you know, the runaway lunacy of that film is what actually shaped me as a person who wanted to go into comedy, because it was those isolated moments of pure joy. When you're laughing in that actual, like, rib-shaking manner that film provided a whole generation of people, you're away from all of your torments and all of life's difficulties and any physical pain you might even be feeling, you know, is the fact that laughter is that type of an escapism. And, like, I can't thank you enough. I mean, I've thanked you in the past, but it'd be the only conversation we ever had if I was being honest with you. Although most of the people might be a little mad at you for driving me into comedy. I don't doubt there's a few million out there that feel the other way, but I kid.
No. You mentioned earlier, I guess after the top of the hour, him, you know, doing the Coast to Coast anniversary show and showing showing it only in the finest theaters in the United States, and he invited my wife and I down to Dallas, and we hid in the audience, and of course he spotlighted me without me knowing it, and yeah. And they gave me a standing ovation, and he said, "Okay, that's enough. Get off. Sit down, Mark. Now you know what it's like to be me every day of the week." And but something happened to me in the lobby.
Uh-huh.
I had this big guy,
Mm-hmm.
big, probably taller than your son,
Mm-hmm.
with graying hair and a nice suit jacket.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kind of parted his, snaked his way through the crowd. And I saw him coming. And he was just transfixed on me.
Mm-hmm.
And he came up and he said, "Can I have a hug?"
Wow.
I said, "Yeah." And he held me. And then he just said in my ear, "You were part of my childhood." And that's when I really realized how powerful that film really was.